In 2018, the CDC released new data showing about 1 in 59 children is diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder, or ASD.
And 1 in 37 boys and 1 in 151 girls. That's a 15% increase from previous estimates. Tonight, we take a deeper look at the spectrum, how it's defined, and how we can help families who care for loved ones with autism.
In the world of autism, there's a saying, one that Riker Martin knows firsthand, not only as the founder and CEO of Arizona Autism, but as a father.
If you've met one person with autism, you've met one person with autism.
That's because the autism spectrum is wide, a spectrum that touches each person differently. We'll get to Riker's connection as a father in a minute, but let's first look at the spectrum. The learning, thinking, and behaviors range from mild to severe. Starting with mild or high functioning, Riker says you'd really have to pay attention to know the person's behavior is affected by autism.
You may notice that they do some weird quirks. If you really were looking at them, they may not make eye contact the whole time. They may be looking down while they're talking to you. They may rock a little bit.
In the middle or moderate range, behaviors are more noticeable, like having meltdowns.
Still has kind of the fit, still has kind of like a much younger mentality. They may be 12, but they act like they're 4, but they still can do some things, and they still will have some verbal where they can still kind of say a few words and kind of at least get around, like pointing to food, dog, bath.
On the severe side, or low functioning, Riker describes it like this. They need full care, clothing, bathing, feeding.
Really can't do much functioning on their own, meaning that, maybe they're permanently in diapers, they don't want to be touched, without the contact, no love, no hugging, no kissing.
And some with ASD sit somewhere in between. Let's get back to Riker's connection as a father. His son Taven is considered moderate to low, but he falls under high behavior.
He can be lovey and huggy and kissy, but in a flash like that, something could send him off, and he could want to scratch you, want to bite, have a meltdown where he could scream at the top of his lungs.
He says many people have no clue that there's a side to autism that can be very difficult.
From a behavioral standpoint, almost like they're tormented and they really are struggling to come out of their box to talk and communicate, and because they can't do that, they lash out because of it.
So life for Riker and his family is not normal. It completely centers around his son.
I can't hang out at a barbecue and just talk to people and let our kids go play. I can't live that life. I always have to make sure that we are 100% attentive to him.
That scenario is very common, he says, so he wants people to really understand autism and know they can help families dealing with the crisis in the simplest of ways.
Everyone pretty much looks down and just thinks automatically there's a bad mom who doesn't know how to take care of her kid. And it's one of the most common things moms say is how embarrassing and how heartbreaking it is. You're already dealing with this terrible situation.
He suggests this, a loving smile offering a helping hand, or
just a person not giving a dirty glance and willing to still treat them like human beings is a big deal for families that have autistic kids.
A very big deal now. We mentioned the number 159, or 1 in 59 children is diagnosed with autism. Well, Riker says he's seen the number change a lot, and it's the subject of debate on whether the number is really changing or more is being discovered. So we do have the complete story on the autism spectrum on our website, KGUN9.com.
Yeah, well done.